From Mag 7 to Lag 7, what do we really mean by that? Well, don't include Amazon in that, but we talk about rotation. We talk about this rally broadening out, and it looks like what's doing here to begin the year. 3-day win streak. Can we keep it going? Find a little resistance in the pre-market, but we know what that means. That means more ammo for the regular session. We'll continue with our CES talk. We'll talk about the oils, a little round tripper there in some of these stocks. Is it time to buy the dip? Jeff Hirsch, 835, Stock Traders Almanac. Timing. Market's all about timing, and Jeff has some tips for us. It's Wednesday, folks. It's pre-market prep. Let's get it started.
The volatility right now is really incredible.
Wow, look at that consolidation on the upper right chart.
You know what we've seen this earnings season? Some of these expected moves get even more violent. This is why I have switched my strategy 10 years ago. And if you're chasing, you're in trouble.
Okay, let's look at the charts here this morning as I pop up my trade station charts. We matched the high yesterday in the S&P, 9150. Nice level there. Let's see what happens overnight, or that's what happened overnight, just sitting below the high close, the old-time closing high of the move based on the front month contract. Looking at Bitcoin futures here, they are down $560 at 92,235. We've been finding some resistance at that 95K level once again. The buck flat, 93.34. Gold and silver, a little bit weak, but what do you want after those days that it had? Actually, GLD, it's down a little over 1%, 426, 408.92. But the standout SLV, new all-time high yesterday. That's down 236 to 71.35. TLT trying to get off the mat here, up 44 cents, 87.72. And more supply. What does that mean? That means perhaps loyal oil prices. USO trading down 71 cents at 67.80. We're going to say good morning to Dennis on this busy morning. Just a quick note here. These charts here are brought to you by TradeStation. Born to trade, chart analyze, customize, all in one platform for you. Good morning, Dennis. And overnight session, I saw some action in the after hours, kind of quiet here. Never saw a sleeping market?
No, it was quiet overnight, but we have so many strong individual movers, and this market is funny, and the January effect is very pronounced because some of your major leaders from last year have been lagging. The title of the show, Mag 7 to Lag 7, applies here because yesterday the Magnificent 7 was down despite S&P's having a pretty darn good day, Dow having a pretty darn good day. So not being led by those main components, being led by the smaller stuff. And the January effect that is textbook is that small caps outperform in January. And we're actually seeing a lot of that as well here with, obviously IWM in the last 3 days just exploding higher. But if you want to look and lift up the hood, you're doing it right now. Apple, 3 straight down days here. Obviously, not one of the strongest stocks in 2025, but not a weak one either, and just steady as she goes. Well, it hasn't been steady as she goes this year for Apple because we've lost about $10 since the first of the month. Now, if we look, at the other ones, Microsoft has just been lagging for a while here, kind of held up the last couple of days, but really has been underperforming. Tesla had a horrible day yesterday. We talked about this. We were worried about the CES when NVIDIA was coming out and talking about robo-taxis, and Tesla, obviously, with Atlas, and their humanoids, and that being competition for Tesla, that really put weight on Tesla yesterday morning. That was down. But Meta's been lagging a little bit, not really participating in the recent rally. Google not participating in the recent rally. The one exception has been Amazon. Amazon showing a lot of life here. Had a fantastic day yesterday. Down slightly here today, but that's one exception for the Magnificent 7. But, just looking under the hood, this has not been the Magnificent 7 driving us higher. It's been all the little stuff.
Well, that's kind of what we've been asking for, right? I mean, is to see broader rotation in the market. Just real quick, Amazon, yeah, it's trading down a little bit here in the pre-market. Just to alert our traders, investors that above yesterday's high. You do have another high on the way down here, and it was a tumble on the way down. That's 243.75, so that kind of coincides with the high that you had at yesterday at 243.18. So maybe a sneaky seller out in the 243 handle. IWM, I mean, right back up here again. I mean, how many times have we seen it, come up to this area? Maybe look at on a longer term chart, go to a weekly. We've been up here before, but have not been able to bust through. Is this the time here? Once again, matching last month's high, matching the all-time high IWM. Be nice to see if it could catch a bid up here.
Well, and it has been. In the last couple of days, you're definitely seeing small caps come in here and take the reins away from the Magnificent Seven. Lots of other stocks to talk about. CES going on, obviously. So you have lots of individual tech stock action. And a lot of this smaller stuff, the tech stocks that have kind of were left for dead last year, are the ones that are showing the most life here right now. Maybe we bring the Brentster in here to talk a little bit about this news here, because we've got a lot of individual news from CES last night. Kat is going to speak here today. I believe it's at noon, and we're going to hear about those autonomous, we've been teasing all week, those autonomous excavators. The stock is right at all-time highs. I'm long a little position in Cat ahead of it here. But the big news probably last night for any individual stocks was Mobileye. Mobileye came out, did an acquisition, is moving up. We are long Mobileye, put that on about 3 days ago in the STN room in the tens, because I thought that, hey, it's presenting here. They're probably, going to be talking about some cool stuff. And the stock is lifting nicely this morning here. So it's a nice lift for Mobileye here, up 14% this morning. What was the headline here, Brentster?
The headline, good morning, everyone. Mobileye will buy Menti Robotics. This is a physical AI company. The deal value here, $900 million in both cash, about $600 million in cash, and up to 26 million shares of Mobileye Class A stock. Just a little heads up here. I don't have a ton of depth of insight here, but the co-founder of Mobileye was the founder of Menti Robotics. So, like, as a news guy and somebody inside of Wall Street a little bit, I didn't know about this deal. Obviously, I feel like people in the industry probably had a little bit of insight that the founder was going to go back for the company that he started and get it back under the Mobileye umbrella.
This is a stock that really was left for dead, and the setup here was really clean. That's why we did go in the STN room and take a position and buy this stock last week. If you looked in the background, the STN rooms, Brent, you can see the price that I bought it at.
Sure,
I'll let you go dig that up. But I mean, here is one very much could be a January effect trade if the CS wasn't even on. You had huge support at $10, so you had a clear stop out, and then you have CES coming in. So all the ducks were in a row. We talked about all the ducks being in a row for Mobileye, and the stock has really been straight up, this week due to CES and due to this excitement. Now you get the move here. We're up 35% in a week here. So, or 30% in a week. These are good big moves here. So, I don't know if these are changing of the tide and these things continue. That's still to be determined. But, if you're a short-term trader, they're nice short-term gains.
I just have to look at the $14 area. This is a really nice move up $1.72. That's 14%. That's $13.90 is your current price. You did sneak over 14 here. Maybe I could have done this a little bit better. The pre-market high comes in right here. You had a little blip at this area. That pre-market high comes in at 14 and change, right? We did sneak 14.19. And then just move over to the right chart here. You can see this is where you're at, folks. This is where you're at right now. And you have a daily high coming in at 1437. So potential resistance. We know that we're just over 10. We were just $10 a couple days ago, $10 and change. So if you have targets in this area, maybe it's prudent to take a look at it. If you're looking for more, if you go to a longer term chart here, Mobileye,
Yeah, let's
maybe
talk
this is
longer
just
term.
the start of it. I mean, maybe, what a different
Mobileye,
perspective you get.
Yeah,
Maybe
let's talk
longer
longer
term just
term.
the start of it. I mean, maybe, what a
One
different.
sec. Let me pull this down here. I'll make this look better. Give me 1 sec. I was
Yeah,
gonna
and we're
show
hearing the
off.
volume on it too from the STN room because we pumped the pre-market prep show in there for the
let's see
morning,
what I
obviously,
can
because we
do.
can't be in
You
places once. And we're renaming the STN room. It's not going to be called the STN room anymore. It's going to be called the STN think tank because that's really what it is. We're thinking out loud and then we're doing the trades and putting them on because we're all putting our heads together with some great traders in there, some prop traders in there, all putting our heads together to come up with these trading ideas. I mean, the CES was kind of like an easier setup here, and I'm having a great week just because of the CES. But, we do these alerts. So what I do is I do these overnight trades all the time. I alert before I buy them so you can actually front run me.
The sound's not coming through, right? Sounds
yeah,
not
no,
coming
you're
through.
good. So
Okay,
there's the
cool.
Mobileye. So
Right here.
So it bought Mobileye swing trade 1063. This was posted at 10:08 a.m. on 12:30. So this is what we're doing over there in that room. If you want to know more about it, go to stocktradernetwork.com. You can sign up for your free trial. But I go bought Mobileye swing trade 1063 CES catalyst next week and January effect. And it just moved. I was reading it, but it just scrolled down on me there.
My bad.
Oh, Breadster just lost it. We're just trying to show you what we're doing over there. And if you guys want more hand holding, that's what we're doing over there. That's really like it's a think tank, but we're doing a lot more hand holding over there too. So give us a try. Try it out because we had a lot of awesome trades here from CES. And it's not just me. The other traders in there are fantastic as well. So they're giving some great ideas too. So, we want more good traders in there. And that's why we want you in there as well. Pre-market prep room. You guys are fantastic in this room. There's so many of you that give us great ideas all the time. Come check it out. But, if you want, we still are doing the promo code there. There it is. PMP STN 10% discount. But, we want you in this room because this is a think tank. That's what it is. We're all putting our minds together, thinking of the next big trade. And, that's what it's all about is, putting good traders together to come up with good trading ideas. So we appreciate everybody who's in that room. We appreciate everybody who's not in that room. But we're right now just trying to come up with more ideas because CES was kind of a slam dunk. Like I said on Friday last week, I'm like, there's no such thing as 100% trade. But I'm like, these CES trades, the probability of them going higher, some of these are really high. So, and obviously I was doing like little even small ones, like talking the ARBE, Mobileye. We had the AEVA on.
Oh my gosh,
which was again, and that one exploded higher. You can show these, Joel. We can put your charts back
Sure.
up there.
Get it back
but
up there.
It's not rocket science here, and trading doesn't have to be rocket science. It's catalyst-driven trading is what we're doing in there. So we're getting ahead of the catalyst. Sometimes it's not going to work out. Sometimes maybe the company's going to say bad news. That is possible as well. But more often than not, when you're at these, like you were saying, Brent, when you're at these presentations, are you really going out there to say, oh my God, we suck. Look what we don't have. It's not like an earnings report. So these catalysts are even better because they're almost all positively skewed. So that's the cool thing about CES. So can we go back to the CES? I know we got ADP breaking in a second here.
Yeah,
Can we go back to the CES, the board, if you have it in the background?
Absolutely.
Just to show what's happening here today, because we know Caterpillar is happening, but there's a bunch of others presenting here too. I also believe D-Wave, is it D-Wave Quantum QBTS also presenting after the bell?
Yes, let's look together. It is on screen right now. Can you read?
Yeah, we can see it.
Cool.
And you can see a number of companies presenting here. Our friend Michael put this together here for us. Thank you so much. These are the companies we've been focused on all week because these are some of the companies presenting. So there's been big moves in some of these companies already, but some of them haven't had much moves yet either. Caterpillar's kind of running into it. So it's like, okay, they announce, is this going to be one of those buy ahead and sell, on the event, sell on the actual presentation? Yeah. That's possible. But, the run-up is undoubted. Bring up Caterpillar chart here right now. ADP coming in 30 seconds is trying to get it in. It's went from 575 to 625. This is Caterpillar. It's up, 10% in 3 days ahead of this.
Put another
so
arrow
there's some
in
people
there.
who are excited about this. If Caterpillar disappoints in the presentation, that's a whole nother animal. But people are very excited going into here.
But the fact of the matter is you're playing it as a catalyst. You don't know what they're
ahead of it.
Say. You don't know what they're going to do. And also another thing we mentioned is what other stocks are going to be mentioned. And one of those was AEVA. And then the other thing is not only are we looking for the positive catalyst, and Dennis, you just went. It's so hard because I know you have the long-term position in Tesla, but that was horrible. That was horrible. The presentation was absolutely horrible
for Tesla, for sure.
Yep.
You've got NVIDIA coming out with Robotaxi. ADP just came out. NVIDIA coming out with Robotaxi. And then you have Atlas dancing around. They're showing Atlas videos. You're seeing how far Boston Dynamics, is going here. Like, I mean, they're killing it right now. And you're like, crap. Here you're looking at Tesla and thinking this is not good news for Tesla because competition coming from everywhere. ADP 41,000 versus expected 50,000, which is a little bit light. It looks like a nothing burger here. If we're looking, at November, they were doing November adjustments on CNBC, but we got the December numbers here. So it's a little bit light. The market's not moving off this. So TLT, you can always go. Lie detector test, moving a little bit higher. And TLT is just kind of sat here and stuck in the mud right now, not doing much at all.
What is I mean, if you're looking for rate, I mean, this is a contra indicator here. I mean, if you think that the rates are going down so much, I mean, this is just 92 to 87, and we're just like, blah. I mean, it is up 50 cents today, but TLT, I mean, pretty much near the recent at its lowest level since September. So we'll see what.
It's amazing that long-term rates are not responding. And again, some of this is to do with the current outlook for interest rates. Like we have talked about interest rates, and this might be a segue into just that conversation here. We've set this up that second half with whoever comes in as the new Fed chair is going to be a dove. Trump has already said they're going to love lower interest rates, so he's not going to point anybody that's not agreeing with that. And I do believe interest rates are going to be significantly lower in the second half. But Powell's in here till May. He's in here for the whole first half. And he might be going out and saying, hey, I'm going to go out strong here and fight the powers that are like calling me, the dumbest person to ever walk on the planet. And say, I'm not, and obviously Powell's only one vote, but he's also very influential over everybody else. So as long as we don't see any crazy data coming out, that's, jobs are tanking.
Yeah.
I think the Fed might stay pat in the first half. Stay pat, is that what you say? Stand pat. Stand pat.
You can stay pat too.
I want to stay pat. I'm going to change it. I like stay pat better. But my wife always makes fun of me because I get all these sayings wrong. But I think the Fed stands pat in the first half. Right? And in the second half, they're going to make fun of me for an hour on this. And in the second half, I think we can go significantly lower. And they don't even know what I'm talking about because they were too busy making fun of me. So at least I'm not throwing my goggles on, flags, Joel.
Oh, Joel, hey, Dennis, that was a major accomplishment.
Yeah. So Joel's been trying for years. He's got all these swimming awards, and he's been trying to throw his goggles and land them on the flags that are going across the flag line that's around there. And he's tried for years, and he finally accomplished this like yesterday morning. And he had to send it all to all of us. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. And then there's a little spot where you can see the goggles are hanging on the flags.
Do you know how hard that is to do? Because it's a thin, the backstroke flag is very thin. I don't know I hope Rod Hood's here.
Flag.
Okay, wow. So what you have to do is you have to catch the nose of the goggle. You know where it goes right here. You have to land it perfectly on there and not have too much momentum.
Giggle. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did it, and there was only one guy in the pool, and but the maintenance guy was in there, and I'm like, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" And the guy's looking at me. He thought someone was drowning or something, And I'm like, "Come on, man!" And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I had to go up to him. I'm like, "Look, and he goes, "Well, do you want me to get him down?" I'm like, "No, I gotta go get my phone."
I'm gonna hang those forever.
It's so hard to do, man. It was good luck. I had a good workout, had a good day yesterday. So
throw your goggles and they land on the
flag. Then the other thing one more thing I try to do, I know this is boring the heck out of people, is I bring an extra kickboard, because I have my own kickboard, and I throw the kickboard across the pool into the bins.
This is fun.
It's very hard to do. Sometimes I bounce it off the window. Sometimes it slips and I hit somebody. But yeah, got to have your traditions.
Mr. Elconin here. He'll be here all day, folks. He'll be here all day.
Joel, congrats on a lifelong goal.
Okay, back, focus, crude. Should we go to crude?
We should talk crude and lots of commentary coming. I don't know, Brentster, if you can dig down the tweet, or truth or whatever you want to call it. But we got a truth from Trump last night, which was really moving crude stocks. I can sum it up here. Maybe I can quickly find it too. No, I probably can't. The Trump truth was, oh, where is it?
It was. I can't find it right now, but the comment was that Trump will be sending. Trump said Venezuela will send about 2.7 billion in oil to the U.S. That was the one you were looking for, right?
Yeah, and he talked about this imminently. So he said, here it is. I am pleased to announce that the interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over between 30 and 50 million barrels of high quality sanctioned oil to the United States of America. This oil will be sold at its market price, and that money will be controlled by me as President of the United States of America to ensure it is used to the benefit of the people of Venezuela and the United States. I've asked Energy Secretary Chris Wright to execute this plan immediately. It will be taken by storage ships and brought directly to unloading docks in the U.S. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So there was implications here last night. When this truth came out, oil started tanking. Oil, if you look last night, you'll see a big down move. You can see that big spike on the left chart, Joel. The USO lost about $1 in about 15 minutes because they're like, okay, here comes extra oil. You saw, didn't see so much the oil stocks moving down because obviously we know Chevron, Exxon might benefit from this. But other trades you saw happening and still seeing this morning is the tankers. The oil tankers are moving up. So if you want to go FRO this morning, Frontline, which is one you think about right away, crude tanker, up 4.5% here this morning because they got to move this stuff. ST and NG is another one. Scorpio tankers, that started moving up a bit yesterday, probably because Barron got the tip. And now you see, that was a joke, but you see the stock moving up, maybe not a joke. You see the stock up 4% this morning, STNG. DHT is another one. It's up 3.83%. All these stocks are up significantly. INSW, International Seaways, that's up 1.71%. A little one, NAT, Nordic American Tankers, trading up 2.3%. So the tanker trade is on.
So I just want to go talk here just in general about the moves that we had in CVX and ExxonMobil. As far as chasing now, you can say don't chase. And if you say, well, I'm chasing Micron and I'm doing really good. Well, Micron is in a major uptrend, right? It has the momentum. It has the stock. It has the word, right? So chase by all means, go ahead. But look at CVX. What I want to note to our traders and investors that, this has had its move yesterday. If you felt you missed it, it gave it all back. It actually closed just above Friday's levels, 156.54 versus 155.90 came in. ExxonMobil came in well too. So if you sat tight, came back and say, yeah, this is really good for these companies. This is going to be fantastic. Here's your potential entry point. You had the catalyst.
You've got it all the way back.
Yeah.
They come all the way back down. So now if you think oil and you think, and a few reasons. The one issue here is if we do open the faucet in Venezuela.
Yes.
You saw what happened last night. Just the thought of opening the faucet and oil tanks, came back. So there's lots of considerations here. It's not a slam dunk, that this Venezuela situation is going to lead to higher oil prices. I mean, the common sense trade is that it's going to lead to lower oil prices. But the reason they were buying Exxon Chevron up is because they were specifically mentioned by the president. And they're like, oh, this is a whole other area. Now, the refiners seem like the better way to go about it because they just refine the crude. And it's going to take some refining, I tell you, because this is slodgy, thicker stuff. It's harder to it takes more refining here.
Yep.
So I think the more the trade that I like better is probably the refiners, the big three, Valero, VLO, MPC, and PSX. Those maybe are the ones that are easier to say, hey, if we're going to open up the faucet, these are direct beneficiaries here. And the direct stocks that we've talked about too that are going to get hurt from this if they open up this faucet are the Canadian. It's Alberta. It's the Canadian oil sands. And because this is complete competition for them. So if you look at CNQ, down about 10% since this has happened here. So that's a significant move. Suncor is holding up. They got other things happening there, Suncor, but it's holding up fairly well. TC Energy, which is what used to be called Trans-Canada Pipelines, I mean, that's going down here too, and that doesn't help either. So TRP. So those are three stocks that actually get hurt by this. The oil stocks themselves, it's mixed reviews here. But, if we do go into a situation where geopolitical risk is rising, where Trump's going to go in and take Greenland at all costs. Rubio said no to that yesterday. Rubio said that they're going to try to buy Greenland, not take Greenland. So he was clarifying because Trump was kind of hinting that they were just going to use military power and go in and take it. So Rubio is bringing that back down here. Rubio, obviously politician, knowing that, hey, we don't need to piss everyone off here. Even if they're planning to do that, it's not that great to go just tell the whole world. So in any regard here, there's, that would be, if geopolitical risk rises, that's a positive for crude. Oil goes up during war times. And we're not saying it's going to happen. But if you look at the war stocks, man, the market is pricing in something here. Because Lockheed Martin, LMT, is up about 10% in 3 days. That is a huge move for Lockheed Martin. Did reverse yesterday. The commentary from Rubio probably cools it off a little bit here because, when Trump's just talking on that, or where he was on the plane with the whole interview and talking about Mexico and Colombia. And Colombia president said that they're going to be, talking too, and sounded a little bit not so much like, come and get me. There was none of that there yesterday either. So lots on the geopolitical front, and that's going to be front and center. After CES, it's going to be something we're going to continue to talk about. Obviously, we're trying to stay politically neutral on this show, which is, what we do. But, and sometimes we can lean either way, but, we're trying to stay in the middle. But we're just trying to give you the facts here, folks. And the facts right now is that geopolitical risk is up and the possibility of war is up. The stock market is telling you that. AVAV bought that one 3 days ago in the STN room, and it's went from $245 to $317 here now. Now, these are big moves. I don't think you should be chasing these moves. I actually consider taking profits into these moves because it's up 25% or 30% in 3 days. I mean, these are huge moves, but they make sense. KTOS, it makes sense because of what Trump is saying. It's got the market spooked, and KTOS another drone play. So this is defense. So the defense stocks, if you want to look at the ETF with Christian Bromhert's been tweeting out, ITA just keeps blasting off every day. It's telling you, the market is telling you that, hey, there's the potential for, more wars here.
Isn't there, I was reading the article about this tanker thing, and isn't there a Russian flag on it or something?
I don't know.
I don't know. I was reading it, and I'm like, well, boy, this doesn't sound good. And then if you want to, if you want to, read what's going on with, the whole Ukraine situation. I don't know if like trading. Oh, I'll trade you this. I'll trade you this for that. I hate to see that going on with countries, but just getting back to just the original thing. If they're pulling out, now I've heard different, levels of what they pulling the oil out of the ground. If they're pulling it out at 14, 15, 16, 17 bucks a barrel, which, I can't confirm, you're going to have to spend billions to do it, then who cares, right? 45, 50, there's still a pretty good margin there. But final point, if you felt you missed the move, then here you are. You're back. You got to reset at it.
We have oil stocks moving right now. I'm seeing a CNBC headline. Oil sales from Venezuela will continue indefinitely and sanctions will be reduced. Crude oil is moving lower right here, right now. Valero just spiked $2.50. Chevron, just looking at a couple of them here, just spiked $1.
Look at the Valero spike just now. Holy crap, we give you guys trading ideas. I said Valero 10 minutes ago. Bring that up here.
That was like 3 minutes ago.
3 minutes ago. Look, boom. You want instant gratification for listening to pre-market prep? There you go right there, Valero. Remember MPC spiking up here in PSX. So these are the companies that are going to benefit from this.
And shout out to JV in the SCN room doing some quick research over the weekend, over this week, giving us a nice heads up that Valero is the refiner that has the best margins. So just a little heads up there if you are considering a play here.
Wow.
I think JV in the STN think tank precedes Spinner listening to pre-market prep. I think JV has been around longer.
JV was in pre-market prep longer
than Jay Rice. I think so.
And Jay Rice, we love you, man. You've been here with us right from the beginning. When we started this show with 50 listeners, 50. That was it. And now we get anywhere from 4,000 a day. When we were at Benzinga, we got a few more, but we're still trying to rebuild to where we were on our own here. But we thank you so much for your support here. You think JV was ahead? Who was that? Jay. Ask a Jay in the chat. What year did you start listening to us? Was it 2013? because that was our first year with Benzinga, I believe, was 2013. Like we tried to do this through Bright Trading in 2012, but really our first year was 2013. So, Jay, were you with us right off the bat?
And
Wow.
and this and audience chat. This is a reminder that Joel's memory is like an iron trap. Whoosh. So you better you better remember that he knows, he's watching. He knows when you all joined. He's
Let us
keeping
know. Is there
track.
any other 2013 or 2014 listeners out there? Let us know here in the chat. You know, there's quite a few of them that I know you guys are still kicking around. Robin, you've been there for a long time too. Rob Hood, you know, there's been quite a few of them that have been out there for a long time. JJ's been there a long time, started late 2013, right from the beginning. So yeah, 2014. We love you, Eddie, from 2020 as well. Been a long time.
Oh yeah, 2020.
The years.
Yeah.
2020. Yeah. COVID, we picked up a lot. That's when we
Yeah.
really exploded because people were sitting at home and they're like, we need to find trading ideas. And obviously Benzinga exploded then too. So there's a lot of 2020 listeners here. But we appreciate all you guys. Even if you just started listening to us yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, keep listening here. What we're trying to do is, you know, not only is the STN Room a think tank, PreMarket Prep is as well. So we're listening to Pablo is 2014. Pablo, you've been there a long time too. So
look at this.
I love the dates.
You guys
lots
know
of 2020.
Dennis,
lots
you
of when
know
we really exploded. We had like 1,000 and then we had 5,000 with Benzinga there, you know, from in 2019 to like 2020. That's
Dennis,
when really started to go
you know how to engage the chat here. Look at all this response. Look
yeah, I know. Well, they love talking. Money Mitch 2017. Money Mitch, we brought as a PreMarket Prep listener and brought him in on the show PreMarket Prep.
He was still a teenager.
He's in the STN Room with us now.
He was a teenager.
He was a teenager back then. Yeah. Money Mitch, we got him right off this. And you know what? Some of these other people we're going to get off you guys too. If you guys are interested in helping us, you know, provide content, let us know here. You know, how do they do that, Brent? If people want to help us on Stock Trader Network, email you, Brent at StockTraderNetwork.com. If you're interested and you think you can provide some content, if you want to host a show, because our plans are to bring you guys more free content in 2026. We have paid content. You know, obviously we're doing more hand holding in there, trying to help traders educate. And then we got more free content. We've obviously just launched options on chain, but we're looking at launching more free shows. You guys think you got a lot of stuff, you can host a show. Email Brent at StockTraderNetwork.com. We'll talk with you because we're looking for people who can host a show.
And there's a few people in the SCN community that I'm talking with right now about how they can help a little bit more. You know who you are. I'm talking to you out there. I'll be getting a hold of you all shortly. Just we've been, you know, wrapping up the end of the year and kind of trying to prepare some things for this year. So we've just been processing a little bit, but we're excited for 2026. We're excited for what happened in 2025. We're very excited for what we think we can help bring with the community's help in 2026.
Yeah, we got some new sponsors coming on board too, which we're really, really happy about.
It allows us to bring you more free content, the sponsors. And if you ever want to sponsor the show, let us know that as well here, because this allows us to obviously continue to pay the bills here and bring you more free content. So, but we got our guest coming in here and getting ready, and he's from the Stock Traders Almanac, and he's going to talk about Santa Claus. He's going to talk about what 2026 is going to be. Mr. Jeffrey Hirsch, the one and only. Run that intro here. Let's bring him on.
Jeffrey Hirsch, Stock Traders Almanac. He's going to pop off mute and he is going to join us here. Good morning, Jeff.
He's got it right in the corner of this screen. So if you look at the bottom,
Can you hear me?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. So the market is timing, right? And the timing of having you on is perfect.
How's that?
2026 annual forecast.
Sugar.
Can you hear us?
I don't think Jeff can hear us is what is happening.
Oh, I thought he was talking about sugar. I thought he was going to
Let me come back in.
Sugar
okay, cool, Jeff.
Okay.
He can't hear us. Why am I responding?
Move Jeff to the background. He's going to try to restart. That was funny because I was like, oh, he's talking sugar. I was like, I'm going in there and looking to talk sugar too. That's something I haven't looked at here. It's a commodity year. Maybe, you know, that's what's going to be. Maybe sugar is going to be the play. You know,
I think he meant to say he used a
I know.
The other S word.
That was good though. He's because he's seasoned. You know, he doesn't even cut. So, okay. So Valero moving up here. Oil stocks, obviously are moving on this here. Let's cover this news here just before we get Jeff here, because the Valero move is nothing but astounding here now. It just hit $190. The other two, which we just covered, PSX and MPC. I mean, you want immediate gratification. You just got on that trade because I said these are the ways to play it. Holy crap. I didn't think 5 minutes later there'd be a headline that drives
5 minutes?
higher.
5 minutes? 5 seconds?
2 minutes later. You Canadian stocks, we just gave you this one too, are going down on this. So Suncor just tanked 50 cents here. So if you want the immediate trade here again, this is going the other way. So keep that in mind when you're trading these things, that these stocks all tend to, these are going to move opposite now. So you've got relationships here now where this news, which is moving stock prices higher, is not good for these Canadian oil stocks. CNQ, I'm short CNQ. Just moved down another 40 cents here right now. Suncor, obviously, we just talked about that one. TRP hasn't moved here yet, but there's a bunch of other Canadian energy companies here. Not great for them. If you want to take it a step farther, which we've done, is Bank of Nova Scotia. BNS finances all these Canadian. It's got a huge presence in Alberta. Does a lot of financing to these oil companies here. It got whacked yesterday. Why did BNS get whacked? Maybe they said something, or maybe it's concerns here about, hey, we got a lot of credit out to a lot of these oil companies here, and all of a sudden, maybe we're a little bit, like BNS been a great company for a long time, but it got whacked yesterday. I don't think it's coincidence. Big moves here for oil stocks this morning. We're going to try to see if Jeff can get his mic figured out. Brentster is working in the background with him, I believe.
Yep, I see the headset. He went to the headset. I still see the mute button on him, but I figure he's good
to go, Brent says.
He's good to go. Let's go. Do we run the intro again? Can you hear me now?
I
can. Good morning, Jeff.
Something not working with the speaker, but whatever.
Your mic's a little quiet, but Brentster's trying to increase your volume here, so I think you're going to be okay.
Let me see if I got the...
You're good. That worked.
Yep, you got it.
Oh, boy. That was loud.
Okay.
Anyway.
Let's go. 2026 annual forecast.
Bullish.
Everyone,
8 to 12%. Everyone's concerned about the midterm election year, but they forgot to calculate that it is the second midterm year, which is where the incumbent tries to cement their legacy and has a historical history of being much stronger. Add in the 6th year of the decade, which has been up 5 straight since 66, 4 for NAS, and the AI super boom technology, backdrop, and I don't know. There's a lot of bullish, an easy Fed. Not going to be this, double digit, upper double digit, gains like we had the past several years, including the 20s in a row. But should be solid. A little weakness, maybe Q3 as the midterms heat up. But with what's going on the geopolitical stage, all bets could easily be off if something really heats up over there. But so far, the market seems to be not concerned about what's going on Venezuela, the chatter of Greenland again, and whatever's going on. I heard there's some movements of military material over in the Europe, UK, Mideast area with Iran. So there's always that, but save an exogenous event. Yeah.
You're not concerned the Santa Claus did not come to town for the 3rd year in a row? I guess he was down I guess we were down 0.11% in the period. Pretty small. It wasn't pronounced in any direction here. It was down to the wire. It came down to the wire. It was going to be close here, but in that official period, the last 5 days of December and the first 2 days of January, the S&P was actually down 0.11%. So you're not concerned about that?
No, I mean, it was pretty close. Dow was up, hitting new all-time highs here again. We're sticklers for specifics. So the Santa Claus rally did fail S&P, but others I've spoken to, they're like, well, it was pretty close. So whatever. The Dow was up, but really the January barometer is more important. It's the full month, and then we have our indicator trifecta the first 5 days everyone's talking about right now, which will be finished tomorrow or Thursday. Add all three. I mean, we didn't get the Santa. Add all three. The market's up, 90% of the time, very strong. So, if we get it down first 5 and a down January barometer, we'll get more concerned. We might readjust our bullish outlook. But for now, technicals, fundamentals, Fed, technology, rotation. We're seeing strength, in other areas. Not concerned about Santa. And the line my father coined back in '72 is, if Santa Claus should fail to call bears, may come. May, maybe. It means, let's look around. It's a bullish little period, a turn of the month, Christmas to New Year's and a little beyond. And if everyone's not buying there, got to take a look. Looks like there was some profit taking, but, not concerned.
All right, so the trifecta indicator, you're throwing in the Santa Claus rally the first 5 days and the January barometer. Those are your recipe. So they say there's no free lunch on Wall Street, right?
Well, there really isn't. But if you're gonna look for one, stocks making new 52-week lows. Mid-December, end of December, have outperformed over the years. Usually works better when we get a correction. It's one of our features in the Almanac. We put out a basket that we'll be updating tomorrow in the newsletter for subscribers. If anyone's interested, stocktradersalmanac.com. But basically, we take the list of stocks making new 52-week lows on the New York, NASDAQ, Amex. This year, we had 21, none from Amex, bunch of REITs, and we make sure that they're regular stocks trading at least a year, no new issues, no funky splits or dividends or closed-end funds or ETFs or anything that's not just a straight up regular Class A or regular fully traded for a year common stock. And then we get rid of anything that's super thin. And then if there's a whole bunch, we'll take ones that are down the most. So decent list this year. It's a quick trade, simple traders. I know some people try to run some options on it, but we try to stick right around the close that we do it on Friday, triple witching Friday before Christmas. But you can get into them the following week. Depends upon the year. It's just it's a bunch of ideas for dead cat bounce trades. Nothing to get married to. So it's a good trade.
Jeff, what about the commodity trade here? Because we've seen this incredible rally in gold and silver. And I mean, silver has been nothing short of incredible precious metals. Crude's is kind of sitting here stuck in the mud, not really moving at all. Is there anything else you're looking from the commodity trade? Copper's been on fire. A lot of the copper producers been moving up. Thoughts here, go anywhere in commodities because we love your commentary here.
I mean, the gold silver is impressive. Our seasonal trade for gold is winding down. We got out of the miners a while back on our hit our targets, and we closed out the GLD just with that. It's like a fourth quarter gold trade. Silver we missed, but it was all part of the seasonal trading, and it got boosted by the underlying inflation and central bank buying and that sort of thing. But copper, I own the COPEX. We own the miners. That was a recommendation. This is the seasonal time of the year where it gets hot. Also with what's going on in the macro, trend with the infrastructure and the data centers. Crude. This is where we get into the producers and the XLE, XES. I own both of those. We put out a recommendation on those. It's a December to May type of trade. This administration is hell bent on keeping oil prices down. That's going to help inflation. I think that's part of their MO there. But copper's a great trade. I wish we had this chat, maybe a month ago when we were getting into these, but we still like them, and I own them. So I think there's upside there, and it's seasonals and the macro trend, the technicals kind of coming together here. It's a nice little nice little trade for us. Nice little setup.
Midterm elections. But Trump said yesterday, "Hey, if we don't win these midterm elections, I'm going to get impeached here." Tongue in cheek, I think he kind of meant that maybe. But talk about the historical patterns of midterm election years.
I mean, I think he's trying to put a little fire under the seat of his party, because incumbent presidents notoriously lose seats in the House, especially during the midterm elections. And his margins, or the Republicans' margins, are pretty razor thin. But it doesn't mean the market has to be impacted by it. But that's part of what makes midterm years so volatile. What sets up that sweet spot of the 4-year cycle is focus turns away or turns toward politics in Washington. And we've seen with President Trump his intent on being involved in down ballot and other elections out there. So I could easily see some attention being directed away from the geopolitical and economic and tariff scene towards the elections a bit, and that sort of pulls away from the market. That's where we see that weaker spot in the middle of the year, the Q2, Q3 period, and then that sets up that Q4 to rally the Q2 of the pre-election year. It's like 19-20% Dow and S&P, that 3/4 sweet spot, and about 29% Nasdaq, and that's where we see this, almost 50% move on the Dow from the midterm low to the pre-election year high, and it's 66+% for Nasdaq. So, the midterm elections can be a bit of a rough political environment. Tends to keep the market at bay a little bit. Again, the sixth year of the presidency, the second midterm year, not as bad, but he's not wrong. They gotta, he could definitely be. I think that's part of why he's doing what he's doing now, is that, he's basically running out of time before he loses his majority in Congress, or at least high probability that he'll lose it.
Jeff, one more for you here before I let you go. The memory stocks have just been absolutely on fire. And, I was thinking that maybe they'd slow down January, maybe get some profit taking coming in. That has not occurred. Microns went up another 15% in the last, 3 days of January. SanDisk was just on fire the last 3 days, going from 250 to 350 here.
Oh,
just a general question here. Like, what do you do when stocks just go parabolic like this? Do you just say, that's good enough, take the money and run? Do you, like, a lot of people come in here and chase it? Like, what do you do with parabolic names like Micron and SanDisk that have just gone nuts?
Well, first of all, I want to just point out, you see that mid-December dip there? That's where you get your profit taking. That's where you get that very typical profit taking setup there mid-December. So that's right there, that last little dip before the parabolic rise. So that sets up pretty historically seasonally well. But with these parabolic moves, our standing policies sell half on a double. If you own it, take your initial investment off the table, let the rest ride, and then use a trailing stop. It's not, it's not rocket science. If you have this kind of, you got to go against your emotions and not be greedy, but you want to lock in some gains, and but not sell a winner.
Jeff, before we let you go, just give us a little background, a little history. This is not new data, right? Your father, Yale's been compiling this data here for quite some time here. So how can tell us about the history of it, and how people that want to follow you and your forecast for the year can get the Stock Traders Almanac?
Well, StockTradersAlmanac.com is the easiest place to go. I'm on X and other social at Almanac Trader. You can also just type it into any of your search or AI, bots, and it'll come up. But my father passed away in 21 at the ripe old age of 98. He started this back in 1966, the year I was born. So the Almanac's in its 59th year. I am as old as the Almanac. We're both going to be 60 next year. We'll be celebrating together. Hopefully I'll be able to catch a wave down the shore for my 60th over Memorial Day. That's the plan, and we'll have the book out. But yeah, I mean, the newsletter comes with a free copy of the book. If you click on Get STA at the website, there's a pretty reasonable deal there. And we do a monthly webinar for members. Only take about hours worth of questions after I run through the deck and update people on what we're looking at. And stock and ETF picks. I didn't really get into some of our stock picks today, but sector trades, market timing, best and worst 6 months. The January indicators, the Santa Claus rally, and January barometer stuff, that all goes out to everybody. So yeah, been around for a while.
Jeff Hirsch, continuing the tradition of the Stock Almanac, Stock Traders Almanac. You can follow him on Twitter at Almanac Trader. Jeff, always love having you on, and we'll be dialing you up. You're a quarterly guy. We're gonna get you.
Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna get you. Okay. All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Happy New Year, fellas.
Appreciate it, Jeff.
Okay, moving up a little bit in the markets,
Yeah.
trying to go green.
I mean, there are themes where market prices explode. Go back to those refiners here, because Valero's now come about halfway back. So we just exploded from 178 to 192 on the headline here, and we just gave about half of it back. So that's where, that's what I always look at. I always teach my technical analysis in 5 seconds. I'll teach it again: support, resistance, trends, and 50% retracement. So you think about the move today from 178 to 192. Where's the 50% retracement? Well, you just take 192 minus 178 to do the grade 1 math for you. That's 14.7 off that 192. Did we hit 192? Am I too high on the 192? We're really close to
Let me see here.
Let's get to Joel. Give us the exact 50%.
191 even due to my trade station data window.
So up 13. Thank you, trade station. Up 13, 6.5 off. I mean, from 191. Brings us right around to that 185 and a half. So we're at 184 to 185, right in that area here. So you're starting to see buyers line up here a little bit, 185 to 185 and a half. I don't think it's a coincidence, because the news was good. Now, sometimes moves can give it all back, but I'm always a big fan of the move, and then, the leak, and, the pullback, and then you get sometimes another move up here again. I still like these refiners going forward, especially if this Venezuela situation continues.
Another favorite tool of Dennis's technical analysis is the double bottom, and that's what you have right now here: 177.51, 177 and a quarter. If you just, set it and forget it, don't mind giving back a little bit of profits. That's pretty good good support. We're now $6 above it. If you want a number above that, the all-time closing high, I believe it's all-time closing high for the stock is 180.57. We are looking to improve on that by $5. That's a wide margin here. There's a look at your monthly. Let's see what the oh yeah, that's right near the all-time high too. So there's some levels, longer term levels for you to keep an eye on. VLO definitely acting different than CVX and ExxonMobil.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go do some ratings here. We're going to be introducing a full new sponsored segment actually soon. We're teasing it a little bit here, which is going to be rating the ratings. That's what it's going to be. We're going to have the segment called Rating the Ratings. That's what we're going to do here right now. So we have a lot of right now. This week is one of the biggest ratings weeks of the year. Again, we've been saying that because analysts are coming off their holidays and they're getting their calls out there for 2026. So let's start with the bad news first. The rating of the day is going to come from Scotiabank, and they are downgrading ASTS to underperform. And we alerted this to our STN think tank last night when the stock was at 96. That Scotia downgraded. It's now at 91. Stock's been running. So when you get a downgrade to sell, because underperform is equivalent to sell at Scotiabank, it doesn't matter who it is, the market's going to listen. So you're seeing a big fall here in ASTS. I'm not going to rate this rating here. I mean, this, I kind of like it because this is, take the money and run type of call. I don't mind that. Stock goes from $70 to $97 coming up on the old October high. So I guess I will rate the rating. I think I kind of agree with it. Take the money and run maybe here. ASTS, a big move really fast. I mean, if you're a long-term investor, it could be a different story. But if you're a trader and your stock goes up 30% in 3 days, usually you take the money and run.
Well, this stock has been a nice uptrend here, hitting $50 back in November. What I will note, I mean, sometimes if they're gonna grab this and gonna go, then it's gonna open and it's just gonna keep going lower and it's gonna breach 90 and under 90. There's a bunch of air between 90 and 80. People that want to defend this stock will have an opportunity. You have it. You can see even in the pre-market here, you could see the buyers just kind of stepping up. They're like, oh man, I was short. This is my windfall. I'm coming in. We got some sneaky buyers right here at the 90-20, 90-30 area. That coincides with yesterday's low. Number of the day in ASTS is $90.
Gonna go down to the upgrades here. Albemarle, ALB getting upgraded by Baird. This would be the opposite of the Scotia one because this stock has been running for a while here now. We know ALB trades off lithium prices. Lithium prices have been going back up here over the course of the last 6 months. Stock was $55. Actually, it was $49 back in April. Is now $160. So it's been an incredible run here. Another pick was from our own money, Mitch, SQM, in the Stock Trader Network room, giving us this at 40 SQM. It's now $75. A great call on that one, Money Mitch. But let's talk the technicals on ALB. It's been an incredible run. Baird upgrading it here now feels a little bit late to the party. So I would say this is a chase type of rate.
Boy. Boy. If you're afraid of heights, then you're afraid of heights, and you might want to use this as an opportunity. You want the number? Number of the day. Number of the day is 164.98. That was the all-time high made yesterday. All-time closing high 158.15. So those are your parameters. I mean, I'm not chasing, and I wouldn't necessarily, be a huge fader, of this, but you definitely have a clear target here for ALB. And I just want to see where this is. This thing had it. I think it's far off its all-time high, isn't it? Right? Wasn't this thing much higher?
Oh yeah, no, it was over
yeah.
$300 back when 2020, when EVs were going to take over the world. That didn't happen. Lithium prices were exploding back then. So obviously, we've come off significantly since then. Now $320 when, well, actually it was 2023, I guess. So it was nice. So came off, tremendously here. I actually lost a lot of money on this one back in like 22 or 23 here because I was in it, and she just kept falling and falling and falling. Crazy moves. But these commodity, that's the thing about these commodity-based stocks. ALB trades off lithium prices. Micron, and they're saying, well, Micron's only 8 times earnings, somebody just said in the chat. Remember, this trades off DRAM. So it trades off memory prices. So when you see RAM exploding higher, it's going to move up. If all of a sudden, pricing of, memory starts to come back down, those stocks will follow suit. So don't, you can't really trade these things so much off of like PEs because they change so rapidly. It's not stable. The Micron PE, if you graph that thing, be like 3 times earnings, 100 times earnings, 4 times earnings, 100 times earnings, 5 times earnings, all depending on DRAM. Now, again, this move that we've had up in DRAMs has been incredible here in memory. And that's why we see SanDisk and Western Digitals and Seagate. And they're even going to other ones, obviously, now as well, with Microchip moving the other day. I mean, it's spreading out. But, when they start spreading out to all the laggards of the group here, it's usually a little bit, going to get exhausted. I have never seen a move like this in Micron. I thought it was overdone 100 points ago, though, and it continues to go. So that's this market. I mean, the trend is the trend until it's broken, and that trend is still very much so intact.
Okay, I just thought just so far for the analyst ratings this year, and just overall taking into account, I mean, they could be your catalyst, right? And I just want to mention 2 stocks. Costco looking for some love, right? I got some analyst love, and he had a nice 2-day move off it, right? Now trying to reclaim the 50. The other one we were talking about in the ST and Think Tank yesterday was Shake Shack. Right?
Yeah, really moved off of it.
Skimming along the bottom of the move. And boy, did that touch almost touch the top of yesterday, the previous day's range, and nice move. So, certain time. And also another thing I'd like to mention about ratings is the market environment. You're getting an upgrade on a day where the spoos are ripping. The market environment is good. You're better to get a little bit more alpha out of the trade.
Okay, so 1 minute left here. Just finishing up here. Final thoughts. It's gonna continue to see this, rotation. Like, what if we're just looking at the market this morning, and I like to look under the hood and we dive deep on. Most stocks are higher. It's a broad-based rally. Oil stocks definitely trading higher. Refiners leading the way here. But you've got a sneaky little tech sell-off here today too, where Micron, SanDisk are red here today after, and I do believe there's a little bit of this to do with Kramer last night. We didn't mention this here yet, but Kramer came out and said with Micron SanDisk on Mad Money last night that he would sell these names. He's like, the move was ridiculous. They went up too much. And he said he would book the profits and sell. And I don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden, SanDisk, which was up 10 points last night, has turned to the red. And Micron, which was up 3 or 4 points last night, has turned to the red here too. So just keep that in mind when you're trading these things. It is kind of like a downgrade. Doesn't mean Kramer's going to be right, but we have to respect Kramer for what he is. He is influential. And when he says something, there's a lot of people who love Jim Cramer and listen. And I don't think it's a full coincidence here that these names are showing a little bit of weakness here when Kramer came in and said to sell.
Okay, there's a trend line for you, and that's one steep trend line. So if you want to incorporate that into your trading as well, keep an eye. We know this thing has just been wild off the open. You're saying Brent's just throwing a few things in here. Intel just spiked $60. We'll have to review the reason for that.
Whoa, and 60 cents, I believe you mean.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then Boeing will have to dig deep here. Whoa, Boeing.
Well, we get a 9 o'clock news dump sometimes. So we're getting some news here, I think, on some of these names here. So Boeing is moving up here too. I'm going to say something here too. So I put Baidu, my acronym is BUR. And it was for Baidu because I believe, in the AI, physical AI, I think Baidu is going to be a big part of that. I contemplated putting Boeing because I think interest rates going down in the second half. The chart looks constructive. And it's starting to move higher here too. So I like Boeing here. I don't own any shares of Boeing, but I kind of want to. And people will say, oh, this isn't value. This is expensive. But if you look at where they used to make money and look at their old amounts of money they used to make, because they don't make the kind of money they used to, you're trading at a significantly low multiple. So they could get back to making the kind of money that they did in 2018. This kind of stock will start to look cheap all of a sudden. So I don't know what the headline is here this morning, but I like the chart. I like the technicals. It does look like Boeing and Alaska Airlines announced the largest airplane order in airplanes history.
I think that's it.
That's the headline moving it up. I don't know if Alaska's moving. That's ALK. We can go take a look at that too. It is moving slightly higher here as well. So was there anything else at 9, Brentster, that you saw jumping out?
I think that it's the ALK headline. Alaska Air today announces it is ordering 105 new 737-10 aircraft and 5 new 787 aircraft, exercising all previous 787 options held with Boeing.
Okay, fantastic. So today we're going to keep an eye on CES. We'll keep an eye on the geopolitical headlines, obviously. I heard, they're saying in the chat that Russia had a ship over there and the U.S. is attempting to board it. So increasing geopolitical risk once again here too. Geopolitical tensions rising.